everyone, welcome back to Pabbly. In this video, we're going to learn how to create HubSpot contact on cash-free payment. So I'm an owner of a skincare brand and I collect the payments from my customers who purchases my skincare product using cash-free. And I use HubSpot as a CRM application in my business. Here what I want is that as soon as by the customer, a payment is going to be done in my cash-free account and I'm going to receive a new payment. I want to create that customer. I've done the payment as a contact in my HubSpot account. Now creating these contacts manually after the new payment is done is very time consuming. So what I've done is I've simply automated this entire process with the help of Pabbly Connect, which is an amazing automation and integration software. And here in this automation, I'm going to build a connection between Cashfree and HubSpot with the help of it. So if you also want to learn about this amazing automation process step by step, for that let me take you to my screen. In this video, we're going to learn how to create HubSpot contact on cash-free payment. So as an owner of a skincare brand, I use Cashfree to seamlessly collect online payments from my customers for my skincare products. And I also use HubSpot to maintain and nurture relationships with my customers by organizing their contact information. By integrating Cashfree with HubSpot, every time a new payment is going to be done by the customer using Cashfree, automatically that customer is going to be created as a contact in my HubSpot account. This automation helps me to keep my CRM updated in real time, allowing me to engage with my customers promptly and deliver personalized experience effortlessly. And I'm going to create this amazing automation between Cashfree and HubSpot with the help of Pabbly Connect. So on the screen, you can see the website of Pabbly Connect, that is pabbly.com/connect. After browsing this website, we need to sign in to our Pabbly Connect account. But if you're a new user, you can sign up for free and get 100 free tasks every month. So as I'm an existing user, I'm going to sign into my Pabbly Connect account. After signing in, you can see the All Pabbly apps window in front of you, in which you can see all the products that Pabbly provides, from which we are going to select Pabbly Connect by clicking on this Access Now button right here. Then Pabbly Connect's dashboard is going to appear in front of you. In order to start an automation process in Pabbly Connect, we need to create a workflow. For that, click on this top right corner button right here that says Create Workflow. A dialog box is then going to appear in front of you, which is asking for the workflow name and for us to select a folder. So for the name of my workflow over here, I'm going to give it as Create HubSpot Contact on Cash-Free Payment. So this is the name that I want to give to my workflow. And for the folder, from the left side of the screen, you can see I've created multiple folders in my Pabbly Connect account. And from these folders, I'm going to select a specific one in which I want to save this workflow in. For that, click on this drop down. These are the folders from which I'm going to select Cash-Free Automations as the folder I want to save this workflow in. After giving the name to the workflow and selecting the folder, I'm going to click on this Create button in order to create a workflow. A workflow is created in the name of Create HubSpot Contact on Cash-Free Payment, and you can see that there are two windows in front of you. One says Trigger, other says Action. So what is Trigger and Action? Trigger and Action are the two most important steps of our automation process because our process depends on these two principles. Over here, Trigger says when this happens and Action says do this. That means what is Action? Action is a response towards our trigger. In an automation process, there can be only one trigger step and multiple action steps. We are going to set up our trigger step first. And for the trigger application over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it as cash-free. As with the help of Cashfree, I am collecting the payments from my customers. I want that as soon as a payment by the customer is going to be done using Cashfree, automatically the trigger over here should capture the response of that. And that is why for my trigger application, I've selected it as Cashfree. And for the trigger event, I'm going to select it as payment via forms, as I'm collecting the payments from Cashfree with the help of the forms that I've created using it. Okay, so that is why I've selected the trigger event as payment via form. After selecting the trigger application and the event, you can see that Pabbly Connect has provided us with a webhook URL. Now, using this unique webhook URL, we are going to build a connection between Cashfree and Pabbly Connect by following the steps given here below in the help desk. So firstly, copy this URL from here. After copying the URL, log into your Cashfree account. After logging into my account, you can see right over here, I'm running my Cashfree account in test mode. You can see right over here. Okay. So the way that you have to connect your Cashfree account is similar for your live account as well. I'm running my Cashfree account in test mode right now, and you can create a live account. You can build a connection between your live account and Pabbly Connect in the similar manner that I'm going to tell you right now. Okay. Now from the left side of the screen, if I'm going to scroll down over here, it says developers. I'm going to click on it, and from the drop down, I'm going to go to this webhooks section. After landing towards the webhooks page, from the panel, go to payment form, as we are collecting the payments via payment form. So I've selected over here as payment form. After clicking on payment form, click on this add webhook endpoint button. It is asking for the webhook URL. So in this field, paste the webhook URL that Pabbly Connect has provided us. So after pasting the webhook URL, I'm going to click on this test and add button. As I'm going to click on this button, a test response is going to be forwarded towards this webhook URL to check whether this URL is working or not. So first I'm going to click on this button. It says status as success. This means the test response has been forwarded. If I'm going to go back to my workflow and scroll down, you can see the test response has been captured in our trigger. I'm going to recapture the response over here as I'm going to capture the response of the payments being done. Okay. So as I've done that, I'm going to click on this add button to add the webhook. It says webhook added successfully. As now the webhook URL is successfully added to my Cashfree account, I'm going to go back to my workflow and scroll down. It is saying waiting for webhook response. So now to check whether Cashfree is connected to Pabbly Connect or not, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the test payment using Cashfree, and after doing the test payment, I'm going to check whether Pabbly Connect captures the response of the test payment being done or not. So in my Cashfree account, I have created a form in the name of Natural Glow Face Toner, and using this form, I collect the payments for the product Natural Glow Face Toner from my customers. Okay, so now what we should do is we are going to purchase this toner over here using Cashfree account. Okay, in order to do that, I'm going to copy this URL from here, open this URL in a new tab right over here, and now we're going to do the test payment. Okay, so for doing the test payment, this is the amount. It is asking for the customer's name first. So for the name over here, I'm going to write it as new customer. Okay, this is the name right over here. For the email over here, I'm going to write it as new customer 44@pabblytudes.com. For the phone number over here, I'm going to enter a dummy mobile number right here. For the address line over here, I'm going to write it as 123 Newtown. For the city over here, I'm going to write it as Bhopal. For the state over here, I'm going to select it as Madhya Pradesh. And for the pin code over here, I'm going to enter a dummy pin code right over here. Okay. After filling in all the required details, I'm going to click on this pay button right here. It is asking for the method of payment. I'm going to select it as card. These are the test card, from which I'm going to select this test card right over here. For the card holder's name, I'm going to write it as new customer, and then I'm going to click on this proceed to pay button right over here. As I've done that, it is asking for the OTP, so I'm going to enter the dummy OTP right here. As I've done that, you can see over here it says payment successful. As now the test payment is done using Cashfree, I'm going to go back to my workflow and scroll down, and yes, you can see Pabbly Connect has captured the response of the test payment being done using Cashfree over here in our trigger. Let us tally the response. The transaction ID status comes as paid. This is the order ID. This is the order amount, that was 599. This is the customer's mobile number. Name is new customer. This is the pin code. State is Madhya Pradesh. City is Bhopal. Address is 123 Newtown. This is the email, that is new customer 44@pabblytudes.com. This is the product title, that is right over here. And this is the form ID. Currency is INR. Okay, as now the response of the form submission has been captured over here in our trigger, this means that Cashfree is connected to Pabbly Connect and our trigger setup is done. So as now Cashfree is connected to Pabbly Connect, now whenever by the customer the payment for any of the products that I've created in my Cashfree account is going to be done, over here the trigger is going to capture the response of that. Now over here my objective is that as soon as the specific product is going to be purchased by the customer, that is the Natural Glow Face Toner, then only the contact should be created in my HubSpot account of that customer. Now, in order to do that, in my Cashfree account, I have created multiple forms. You can see right over here, and using all these forms, I collect the payments for different objectives. Okay, I want that as soon as the payment for this specific form is going to be done by the customer, that is the Natural Glow Face Toner form, then only over here this workflow should be executed after the response has been captured over here in our trigger. Now, in in order to do that, for the action step, we are going to select it as filter by Pabbly, as now we're going to enter a condition in this workflow. And for the action event, I'm going to select as filter values, and then I'm going to click on this connect button. Now over here it is asking for us to select the label, filter type, and the value. In the response, I have received the form ID. So this is the previous response right over here, in which I have received the form ID. Now this form ID is unique for each and every form that I've created in my Cashfree account. Now what we are going to do is, according to this form ID, we are going to add the condition. Now in the previous response, in that trigger, whenever the payment response is going to be captured, when the payment via form is going to be done by our customers, over here we will receive the form ID. Now when this form ID is going to be equal to this value, so this is the form for which I'm going to add the condition, so I'm going to copy this form ID from here and paste it in this value field right over here. Now in the previous response, whenever this form ID is going to be equal to this value right over here, then this workflow is going to be further executed after this filter step. So in this manner, I've applied this filter in this workflow. As I've clicked on save and send test request button, we will receive the status as success and condition comes over here as true. Okay, now what is going to happen, that whenever we are going to receive a response of the payment done by our customers via Cashfree, the trigger is going to capture the response of the payment, and in the response, if this form ID value is going to be equal to this written value right over here, then only this workflow is going to be further executed. Okay, so I've added the filter in this workflow. After adding the filter, now I want to create this customer as a contact in my HubSpot account. Now for that, we're going to add another action step to this workflow, and for the action application over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it as HubSpot CRM, and for the action event, I'm going to select it as create a contact, and then I'm going to click on this connect button. A window is going to appear in front of you, on which click on add new connection, or else you can select the existing connection that you have. After that, click on connect with HubSpot CRM. A window is then going to appear in front of you, on which I'm going to select the account right over here and click on this choose account button right here that I want to connect to Pabbly Connect. As I've done that, you can see I've successfully authorized HubSpot CRM to Pabbly Connect. After authorizing, it is asking for all these values, with the help of which we are going to create a contact in our HubSpot account. So for the data of these fields, what we are going to do is we are going to map the data. Now what is mapping? Mapping means inserting data from the previous step. So we're going to insert the data from the previous step of this workflow. And how it works is that as soon as I'm going to click on this field, these were the previous step, and as I'm going to click on this cash-free payment via form option, this is the same response of the payment and our customer's details in our previous step. Now we have the customer's details in the step right over here, and I want to create the same customer as a contact in my HubSpot CRM account. It is asking for the contact street address. In the response, we have received the street address of our customer, and as I want to create this customer as a contact, so I'm going to select the data from my previous response. As I have selected the data from my previous response, the data is mapped, and as I have mapped the data has now become dynamic. That means now whenever a new response is going to be captured in our previous step, automatically the new data is going to be updated in place of this mapped data. It is asking for the annual revenue. I do not have the field, so I'm going to skip the part. For the city over here, I'm going to map the data of the city that I've received. It is asking for this close date company name. I don't have the field, so I'm going to skip the part right here. It is asking for the email address over here, so I'm going to search for the data of my email address right over here of my customer, and I'm going to map the data. It is asking for the first name next. Okay, so I'm going to search for my customer's name right over here. I have received the customer's name, but I've received the first name and the last name clubbed together. So we need to separate and split these first name with the last name. Now in order to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to add another action step to this workflow before this step. And for the action application over here, I'm going to select as text formatter by Pabbly. Using this amazing feature by Pabbly Connect, we can split the text according to our requirement. We can format the text according to our requirement. And for the action event, I'm going to select as split text, as I want to split the first name with the last name. Then I'm going to click on this connect button. It is asking for the text to split, so I'm going to search for my customer's name right over here, and I'm going to map the data of the customer's name as I want to split the first name with the last name. It is asking for the separator from which unit are we separating these values. For space as separator, use this code right over here. In between the first name and the last name, you can see a space is there, and using the space, I'm going to separate the first name and the last name. So I'm going to copy this code from here and paste it right over here for the separator. Segment indexed, I'm going to select as all, as I want both first name and the last name. Then I'm going to click on this save and send test request button. As I've done that, first name is separated from the last name right here. Now what we're going to do is we are going to map the data of this first name right over here from the result that we have received. Okay, it is asking for all these details, which I'm going to skip the part over here. Okay, I don't want all the details. For the status, I'm going to select as active, as this is an active contact. Next, it is asking for all these details, so I'm going to simply skip the part from here. After that, it is asking for all these details, which I do not require, so I'm going to skip the part. Next, it is asking for the states. For the state, I've received the data of the state right over here. This is the data. I'm going to map it. Okay, I'm going to further scroll down. Next, it is asking for the WhatsApp number. So I'm going to map the data of the mobile number right over here. It is asking for all these details. I'm going to skip the part. For the last name over here, I'm going to map the data of the last name that I have received. If I'm going to further scroll down over here, you can see it is asking for the mobile number. So for the phone number, I'm going to map the data of the phone number right here. It is asking for all these details. So I'm going to skip the part. For the state over here, I'm going to map the data of the state that I've received right over here. If I'm going to further scroll down, it is asking for the postal code. So I'm going to map the data of the postal code that I've received. After filling in all the required details, I'm going to click on this save and send test request button right here. As I've done that, we have received a response in which we have received the ID, which is a positive response. So now let me open my HubSpot account. This is the contacts page of my HubSpot account. I'm going to refresh this page from here. As I refresh the page, you can see a new contact in my HubSpot account has been created in the name of new customer. Email is newcustomer44@pabblytudes.com. If I'm going to further scroll down over here, you can see over, if I'm going to show you right over here, this is the pin code of our customer. You can see right here, the state comes as Madhya Pradesh. This is the address, that is 123 New Town. If I'm going to scroll down, this is the WhatsApp number. As you can see, a new contact has been created in my HubSpot account. This means that we have successfully created an automation between Cashfree and HubSpot with the help of Pabbly Connect. So now to sum up till now what we have done, I am an owner of a skincare brand and I collect the payments from my customers via Cashfree. And for the CRM application in my business, I use HubSpot. Over here, what I want is as soon as per the customer, payment for the skincare product is going to be done for the trigger. Over here, this trigger, that is Cashfree payment via form, is going to capture the response of that. And as over here, the trigger is going to capture the response of the payment using this action step, that is HubSpot CRM create a contact. A contact of that same customer is going to be created in my HubSpot account. And using Pabbly Connect, I've built the connection between these two applications in this manner. So this was it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Not just with these applications, you can create automation between multiple other applications with the help of Pabbly Connect. If you have any questions, you can contact us on support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can check the queries on forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, then you can check out this link. If you like this video, please do subscribe to our channel, hit on the like button, comment on if you have any questions or doubts, and please share this video.